Hi, my name is Omar Gay, and this is my final project presentation. And today I will be giving you a brief overview on my first part, my second part. The first part, we will be talking about the requirements plan, and on the second part, we will be talking about a system design document. So for the first part, the purpose of the requirements management plan. The purpose of the requirements management plan is to help guide the planning phase before a final product is put out. Uh, A number of actions are taking place, such as ensuring elicitation, data being documented, modification or enhancement, and changing requirements happen on a consistent basis with one goal in mind to satisfy the stakeholders in effect. In this project, by creating a data exchange system, will increase opportunities for credible evidence-based decision making by the physicians and also by the clinicians and the imaging center. By increasing evidence-based decision making will improve the quality of care, decrease time taken for different tasks, and create effective scope management. Um, Here's a basic overview of what the requirement management plan is. A little background setting on it. Altrum Institute, while partnering with United Physicians and Detroit Medical Center, physician hospital organizations has been recognized for outstanding work they have done for the communities. In appreciation, they received an award to minimize the studies for beneficiaries in South Michigan. In healthcare, it is important to have communication. In this intervention, by formatting a data exchange system between primary care and imaging facility services, will show the growth of evidence-based decision making by doctors, orders, tests mainly for MRI and CTs. The main objective is to decrease the total percentage of costs, but remaining efficient. So from beginning to end, the requirements management plan involves activities to elicit, specify, analyze, and validation. Requirements, progress deliverables comprise of business requirements, user requirements, functional and non-functional dictionary and numerous analysis models. After receiving approval, the requirements baseline is then set in place. So we're going to talk about the assumptions and constraints. So some of the basic assumptions could be um, workers will probably have to work 30 to 38 hours per week. An increased evidence-based decision making is seen. Common language between system and human is clear communication. Existing stakeholders are satisfied, and final product accomplishes its objective or its goals. Some basic constraints could be the budget may not be enough. Resources that are given may not be enough for the project, so therefore limited resources. Scheduling could be as far as deadlines. The security and privacy of data, and, things such as that nature could be breached. Uh, Technical issues such as size, data, software system, and compatibility. And we're going to talk about the requirements traceability. The tools used to trace the project throughout the system's life cycle is SDLC, System Development Life Cycle. It is a process used by technology specialists used to produce quality functional systems. SDLC compromises of six important phases. The first one is planning. Second one is defining. Third one is designing. The next one is building. The next one is testing. And last but not least, the most important one, deployment. So to the right is basically a graphic image of the SDLC. Um, so like I said, the first one is called planning. So in that stage, basically you're gathering data and you're basically planning your approach. In the second stage, which is defining, and this stage you're basically getting approval from the stakeholders to carry on with the system. And in the third stage, you have designing, which is basically creating the best possible system for the market. Um, and the fourth stage you have is building, um, where development begins and programming coding begins. And then the fifth one, you have staging. Testing. Uh, Basically, which is testing out your product. You're trying out the product before the final product is actually put out. And the last one you have is called deployment, basically, which is the final product. Final product is ready for release and into the industry, to the consumers. Next one is workflow and activities. The installment of the data exchange system will increase evidence-based decision making made physicians and other healthcare workers. It'll improve the workflow environment due to the clear communication between primary care facilities and imaging facilities. The activities of the system prior to implementation and post will create new jobs for people and give new skills to existing employees. In review, looking to the future, the system will be able to update as technology improves. Hopefully, it will be able to store large amounts of data over the years without any data corruption. Lastly, it will be able to maintain its purpose as to why it was built in the first place. The timing of receiving, sending patient data will be done in a timely manner. A reduction in medical error, wasted energy, and expenses will improve productivity. And by following the proper procedures and guidelines, HIPAA and the security of patient data should not be broken or breached. So the second part we want to talk about is system design document. And the first thing we'll talk about is purpose and scope. So SDD documents retain data of vital information that must have to effectively describe the architecture and system design. With the help of SDD, it guides the project team on how the system will be built. The purpose of this project is to create a data exchange system between primary care centers and imaging centers to upsurge evidence-based decision making among doctors ordering tests. The goal of the project is to lessen the percentage of unnecessary spending in the next 3 years, resulting in a percent reduction in imaging costs while remaining efficient. So basically, some of the design constraints. Of course, the first thing you have to look at is financial side. The most challenging constraint for this project is finance. The money awarded may not be enough. If everything goes according to plan, but if there are any setbacks, then unexpected expenses will have to be made. The second we could look at is technical side. The installation of a new technology can be a huge constraint. Over the next 3 years, Altron Institute will train a network of area care providers in the use of program systems. Getting the doctors trained is an important task as far as goals for this project. And the next one we have to concentrate on is institutional. The data-driven system will connect primary care centers and imaging centers for accessible evidence-based data. The importance of teamwork and communication are vital. Following protocol and practicing the proper guidelines will reduce some of the constraints. And nevertheless, all constraints should be taken as early as can be to avoid future mishaps or surprises. Having a clear project scope and understand will clear any future constraints. Future contingencies. So basically, contingencies can cause harm to a new system. Um, Many data centers can experience interruption of service. This can mean technical failure that can affect the whole clinic workflow and community. To combat that, a disaster recovery plan was created to lessen the damage done by coping with it on more of a manageable level. Data interruption can result in a loss of lab tests, results in patient information. And to the right, we have what you call a disaster recovery options diagram. Basically, you get to choose between a cloud and a premise, and of course, you would definitely pick the cloud because of the recovery time and it's short and it's shorter also. The next one we have is internal communications detail design. If the system includes more than one component, there may be a requirement for internal communication to exchange information, provide commands to support input-output functions. This section should provide enough detailed information about the communication requirements to correctly build and or procure the communications components for the system. And the next one we have is getting the communication correct is important for the project. Having interoperability between the primary care setting and image center is key for the success of this project. There will be a number of servers and clients to be included between the two centers. Data exchanging tools to be used could be Health Information Exchange, XML, HL7, API, and that's it.